Welcome back to the Metro. I'm gonna go ahead and start this episode off a little different than normally because we are about to go into the final chapter. I want to give a quick overview of what we've done so far. So in the prologue, we were introduced to the threat of the Dark Ones. The Dark Ones were starting to apparently invade the station and destroy the minds of the invaders at the station. Hunter came through and he gave us the mission to reach Polis so we could kill the Dark Ones with the express motto of, if it is hostile, we will kill it. Chapter 1, we basically left exhibition and we got our first taste of the Dark One's power firsthand. In the tunnel to Riga, during chase actually, we went through the silhouette of a Dark One and our entire group fell unconscious. One of our members was killed because of this. However, us and our friend Eugene, as well as our commander, were able to fight off the No Solaces and make it to Riga. Now, when we first went through this, I gave a bit of a different possible explanation for this. Now, what happened was we went through the silhouette of a Dark One and were immediately overcome by an anomaly. As we saw with Khan, anomalies are very dangerous. Whenever there is movement, whenever there is any sort of life, anomalies go there and basically snuff it out. So there is a bit of an interpretation saying that going through the Dark One, making us all go unconscious, was the only way any of the party members were going to get out of there alive. So that's just a little interesting bit. In Chapter 2 we met Bourbon, and we actually dealt with the Dark Ones a couple times. Lost Tunnels, we started to get a bit of a feel for the metro itself. We found out about the voices of the tunnel. We fought many mutants. However, we also saw some Dark Ones. Most importantly, the one at Lost Catacombs. If you remember, when Bourbon was trying to open the grate to get to market, he was struck by an anomaly that may have had to do with the area that we were in, that was causing him to hallucinate and us to hallucinate at ourselves. While he didn't have a gas mask on, we did, so it was more of a hallucination than any sort of, breathing problem, because some of the later things that we see is, instead of hallucinations, they are actually asphyxiation, but that's actually in Last Light, so forget about that for the moment. However, what we did see was, when we were struggling to get through the door during the anomaly, the Dark One was able to pull us through. From there, we were able to see a couple Dark Ones in Dead City, because they actually live on the surface. Now, one of them showed us what life was like during the before post-apocalyptic period. We were able to see the bustle of a working office space, and since we ran quickly enough, we were able to see that, hey, this hallucination was brought on by the Dark One. We were also able to see children playing in a playground based on the visions of a Dark One, and that Dark One actually also pulled some enemies away from us so we could proceed without a fight. In Chapter 3, we met Khan, basically the best character in this game, and his role is basically to show us really what the future is and how he's adapted to it and how we should adapt to it. This is where we learn about anomalies and how to deal with them. He also shows us the first sign that our plan to save Exhibition may not work. He shows us another station that has fallen, or that is currently falling. Cursed station, as we see right here. Cursed. We save that station, and then Khan expresses doubt that Polis will be able to do anything for us. Cursed station being a much closer station and fighting a much weaker threat, the Nosalises, Polis was unable to do anything. So really, what chance did we have facing a larger threat at a further away station? So in Chapter 4, we basically are just piling through to Polis. We go through many humans, and we meet our first rangers for the first time, beyond Hunter, that is, first on our mission. And we are recognized as a ranger for the first time because we're able to traverse the metro tunnels without any other's aid and rescue the Red Soldiers. So in this chapter, we get to Polis. We help out a defenseless child, however, we're also immediately helped out before and after by Polis Rangers to get us to Polis. So we sort of paid it forward to the child and the, I forget the name of this station, and then we're immediately rewarded with free passage to Polis. So in Chapter 5, Polis, we see the majesty of the largest known civilization of humans, but we are immediately rebuked by its citizens. Miller, basically the military commander of Polis, specifically the Rangers, has a plan and he will help us. However, his plan is to launch nuclear weapons at a location very close to Exhibition. Exhibition survived the first nuclear war, so there's probably not going to be any problems with launching any more nukes. That's basically the synopsis of his plan. And that gets us started on going to D6. Now, this is the last time, once we get the plans, this is the last time that we get to see Khan. It's the last time that we can hear any other opinions from anyone else besides Miller or any other Rangers. At this point, Khan gives his strongest expression of doubt for Miller's plan. He says something to the extent of, "This is not a situation that you can act with without doubt. You need to think this through." And he's saying that directly to Artyom and the player. So, from there we get to Chapter 6, and we are, and as I've shown, we are able to get to the missiles. We've got them in a launching order. However, now we need to put them in the right direction, and that'll be Chapter 7 Tower. There's one interesting note is Artyom, through the little bits of dialogue he gives, or monologue rather, excuse me, at the start of each section is finally giving a voice to doubt to this plan, whether it will work or not, whether this is the right course of action. So, with that summary, let's go ahead and start Chapter 7. We're going to start
Miller and
back
I
in the
left the
action.
train, then climbed up the tunnel to the Korolev Performance Hall. We were close to Ostankino Tower now. In the frozen streets, we joined the other Rangers in the furious battle that began my story.
Stay calm. What's your best, boys?
Hopefully this is a little familiar.
Okay. Looks like it's gonna be tough with no line.
We do get an insane amount of ammo, and this is going to be quite loud, so...
Shit, wait! Fire the drill!
Okay, so now we just go ahead and wait.
Артём, are you okay? The order is dispersed. That's our only chance to reach the tower. Follow me, Артём. Don't stop for a second.
Right, so the
Follow the red!
3 Rangers,
Go!
3 Rangers that accompanied us are now dead.
Come on, let's get out of here! Go! Let's go!
Luckily, these Bolt drivers are making pretty short work of our enemies,
Come on, suka! I'm here! Alright, go!
as well as Miller's one-hit kill in melee range.
Come on, let's do it!
Huh, some of them auto died, alright. Now you need to stick next to Miller, or the game will auto kill you. So you can't run ahead or fall behind.
Артём, take a look at that room. Almost there!
There'll be one hell of a story. We are invisible. And we taste like shit.
Shit! Fire the drill! Alright, go, 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 go!
No quiet.
Come on.
So we made it to the town.
Let's go find a way to the top.
This way.
A way to the top. You're an eternal optimist, Miller. Easier said than done. Okay, I have an idea. Climb on top of the elevator. We will try to unload the counter and stop it. Come on! Come on, sugar! Come on! Come on! Join the army, they said. It will be fun.
The elevator delivered us to the top of the tower. For decades, news was broadcast from this place. But whether today's news would be good or bad depended entirely on us. Once we installed the guidance system, our mission would be over. But plans were made to go wrong.
Brace yourself. It's gonna get a bit rough.
I kind of like how they did that. Just a bit rough.
Are you okay, Artyom? Fantastic.
Woodman, come in. We're in the tower. The target's covered with high clouds. We're going higher. Over.
Alright, Artyom. Now we need a way to get you up here. Demons! Die, you piece of shit! Run, Artyom!
Oh, jeez. Go ahead and... Oh, man. What the F? So... Okay, good, I'm not stuck. Alright. So generally, you can come through here. However, that is really the way that you're supposed to go. We gotta get our way up to Miller. That's not too bad. We just need to...
On your back, Artyom!
follow what's left of this path.
There is a staircase nearby. Come upstairs!
Alright. So we made it to Miller.
Well done.
Come in, Woodman. We've just fended some demons off. It's still going up. Ah! Come in, Miller! Miller!
Shoot, Artyom!
Artyom, Miller, come in!
Shoot! Сука! Come in, Woodman. I've been wounded. You keep in touch with Artyom. Over.
Roger that, Colonel. Over.
The laser won't do us any good here, Artyom. The clouds are way too thick. You've got to climb as high as you can and set the guidance system up. Move, boy, move! Everything depends on you now.
Alright. Let's go. Now, one minor flaw with these QuickTime events is every QuickTime event is quickly tap E. So, coming up, a bit of a spoilers, we're going to have at least one more QuickTime event. Just pressing E through a section is all you really need to do. We'll also see a lot of gas mask filters throughout this area. I've tried to point them out as I come to it. I have 31 minutes. I think that's more than you're supposed to be able to have. But anyway, let's go.
He's here. Can hear us. Can understand us.
That was interesting. So, I wasn't able to very well show it, but time slowed down during that period, and during that time slow, I guess I cannot go upstairs for some reason. I don't know if that has to do with their physics or what. Generally, you wouldn't be that far behind, though. I do hear a demon a little bit. If we stick to the building, should be okay. Ah. So now, for the first time, we get to see the ruins of Moscow. When we get to the top, the cloud cover will be clearer, and we'll be able to see the threat that we are facing. Ah, we can actually see it right here. So this is the City of the Dark Ones. I have no idea what that stinger was about. This is the first time we'll see it, and we'll get a better view of it once we reach the top. That is what we are looking to launch a nuclear strike against. And I think I went around in a circle for no reason. Totally did. Now this jump is actually impossible. They do a very good job with the sound design for this section, so I'm going to be pretty quiet for this. Alright, so we've kind of lost most of our way down from completing this mission. It's kind of bad.
Why are they here? He brings death.
For some reason our comms with Ullman aren't working. Or Artyom is a silent protagonist, so he might just be silent. We don't know. Ah, here we are. We have reached the top.
Contact zone reached. Artyom, this signal is just perfect. Hold on for just one more minute and we'll get them.
Alright. This is why
He's coming to destroy us. Why? He cannot be allowed. They never change. You will be stopped.
the game takes a few design decisions similar to Doom 3. Probably older games than that. Alright, so we got one more door.
He cannot be allowed.
And so we begin the
You will be stopped.
last level of this game. Section's called Ethereal. Right now, we are, for the first time, directly fighting the Dark Ones.
Stop him.
One thing to note is whenever there is
Destroy him.
a Dark One who shows
Stop him.
hostile intent through their aura, we need to run, and we need to run fast. As we saw with the last one, they are able to pull us towards them. They can also, as you probably have figured out by now, they can also change our perception in many different ways. So now, we must go back.
He's coming to destroy us. Stop him.
And now we've got a T-path.
Destroy him.
So we can help that guy. Or go to that guy. We help this guy.
Stop him.
Oh god. We better run.
Destroy him.
Nope. Whoa, I did not know you could actually live through that. Okay. Interesting. So this is the next section. We had two choices. We could
He cannot be allowed.
either help the injured Miller,
He's coming to destroy us. Stop him.
or we could go towards the ranger
He cannot be allowed.
that was doing fine next to a tree.
Stop him.
Now I'm really curious to see if that had any effect.
Surrender.
There's a couple jumps. With the ground popping up, it's a bit difficult unless you have this memorized. If you're trying to go really fast, that is. Otherwise, just
Coming to destroy us.
wait a bit and all of the land will come in. And this is the end of this section. Right here. Oh man, it isn't. Okay.
If it's hostile, you kill it.
Stop him.
We know, above all things, this Dark One is hostile.
You reap what you sow, Artyom. Force answers force. War breeds war, and death only brings death. To break this vicious circle, one must do more than just act without any thought or doubt.
20 seconds to homing procedure completion.
Prevent. Save.
10 seconds to homing procedure completion.
He does not understand.
So we have a choice.
He can stop.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that is our choice.
We want peace. We want peace.
H.G. Wells once wrote, "If we don't end wars, wars will end us." And somehow, I stopped my war. At the time, I couldn't say what had made me spare the Dark Ones, but I came to realize that the strange visions that haunted my journey were their attempts to reach out to us. I don't know if I was the first to communicate with them, but I will not be the last. And the future, our future, stretches before us like an endless metro tunnel.
Alright, so that is the end of Metro 2033. I'm gonna let the credits play out. I just wanted to note a couple things about Chapter 7. So in the end, everything is sacrificed at this point. Miller's injured, many have died for Artyom just to have the chance to fire this missile. And we face an actual hostile Dark One, and for the first time we have to kill a Dark One, and that is the only hostile one. The Rangers had a motto that we learned at the very first section of the game: if it's hostile, we kill it. That was actually the motto of the Dark Ones, and in the end, that's what we ended up doing as well. So, that ending is only able to happen if you've made compassionate choices throughout the game. If you've sat and listened to Khan explain what the metro tunnels are now, if you've given money to the poor and helpless, if you've helped people, that is the only way to get this. One last point is, the final boss of this game was not an enemy. It was fear, and that's something you don't see in any games. The only way to win this game wasn't to defeat anyone. It was basically to defeat himself. It was to win with compassion. And that's not something that you find in nearly any game. And that's basically why Metro 2033 is one of the best games ever. Alright. So that is all. Thanks for joining me through this. Thanks for your comments in the thread, and I'll see you later.